So, folks, we have to talk about Iran some more because the President of the United States has taken us into an illegal war that is growing more illegal by the day, and it's getting worse. So, let's talk about it. When Donald Trump initially brought US forces into conflict with Iran, that started a timer, a countdown, really. Because effectively, what has been the case in the past is that the United States has a 60-day window in which like the United States, Donald Trump can direct the military of the United States to do bombing campaigns, to take military actions, etc., without the approval of Congress. That 60-day window has come and gone. Now, what exactly has allowed him to do that? Why is that? Effectively, Donald Trump's argument is, well, because of the ceasefire, we actually it resets the clock. That's the argument. His argument is literally, because we did a ceasefire, we're no longer doing the same military operation. So any future military operation is now a separate one. So you need a separate 60-day countdown. And of course, this is horribly illegal. Of course, there's no precedent for this. Of course, if that were true, it would effectively render Congress's power to levy war meaningless under the Constitution. Yet, here is the letter from May 1st. Dear Mr. President, I write to inform you of changes in the posture of the United States forces in the United States Central Command Area of Responsibility as part of my efforts to keep the Congress fully informed, consistent with the War Powers Resolution. On March 2nd, 2026, I reported to the Congress that on February 28th, 2026, United States forces had initiated Operation Epic Fury and begun conducting precision strikes against the regime of the Islamic Republic of Iran. I ordered that operation consistent with my responsibility to protect Americans and United States interests at home and abroad, and in furtherance of United States national security and foreign policy interests. On April 7th, 2026, I ordered a 2-week ceasefire. The ceasefire has since been extended. There's been no exchange of fire between the United States forces and Iran since April 7th of 2026. The hostilities that began on February 28th, 2026 have terminated. Despite the success of United States operations against the Iranian regime and continued efforts to secure a lasting peace, the threat posed by Iran to the United States and our armed forces remains significant. Accordingly, the Department of War continues to update its force posture in the AOR in select countries as necessary and appropriate to address Iranian and Iranian proxy forces threats and to protect the United States and its allies and partners. These changes are more fully outlined in the classified attachment to this letter. I have and will continue to direct the United States Armed Forces consistent with my responsibilities and pursuant to my constitutional authority to conduct United States foreign relations and as Commander-in-Chief and Chief Executive. So yeah, basically, we reset the clock, so we can just do whatever we want now. It's really stupid. It's really stupid and really bad. And also, just want to throw out there, Epic Fury rebranded as Operation Freedom. So essentially, what is happening right now is that Donald Trump has renamed the operation from Epic Fury to Operation Freedom in order to claim it's an entirely new military operation, and thus the 60-day countdown has restarted. And also to sell the idea that this is all in service of some kind of abstract freedom. We like, remember how we were like, well, you know, and this was months ago, back in February, we were like, they at least tried to tell us that we were like spreading freedom and democracy back in Iraq and Afghanistan. They aren't even bothering with that now. And Donald Trump is bothering with it now in a desperate attempt to now try and cover his ass. And like, it's just not going to work. It's just not going to work. It's not even going to work with his like MAGA loyalists. Like, They see through this. It's transparent. The Al Jazeera breakdown of this, by the way, is incredible. Just this paragraph. Adopting the Project Freedom title was primarily Project Freedom or Operation Freedom. I'm unsure. That there are two different names being bandied around, but was primarily an informational shift by Washington to convince skeptical U.S. allies that there are rational reasons to join the mission. Basically, they didn't even rename it for the sake of like dipshit MAGA Americans. They renamed it to try and bamboozle other countries into coming and sending their navies down to the Strait of Hormuz. Like, it's so stupid. It's so stupid. And the absolute disdain the Trump administration has for every single American ally across the globe, it's unreal.
If it was transparent, it would actually care about the well-being of kids.
True. Also, can I just say, things are going poorly when this is an actual call into Sean Hannity's program from a listener. I'm just going to play this. It's about 2.5 minutes, courtesy of Media Matters.
Hi, Sean. Thanks for taking my call. Listen, tacking on to what you've been talking about,
there's
and
no
also
visual.
Your conversation with the senator, there's no more critical than getting us through these midterms than wrapping this thing up. I left a message on the president's Truth Social a few days ago. I said, "Dear Mr. President, please wrap this 4-letter word up. Peace, 4-syllable word, plural, there's and obfuscation. And every day, Sean, that he doesn't finish this off is another day. They make deals with Russia. They figure out another route to get oil in or out. The military is doing a great job, but strategically we're losing. I mean, look at the headline right now on Fox News.
When we're not losing anything, the president is only giving them time to get their act together, and he's showing patience. And I know exactly what he's doing. He can wrap this up and end this today. He could just bomb them out and rip out their infrastructure. But what does that mean for the 90 million plus Iranian people? So it's not going to be a forever war. It's going to wrap up.
He could end it today. He's just choosing not to. Like, it's so fucking stupid. If we could bomb them into submission, we would have done that already. But there's more.
Up. In many ways, we've accomplished our main goal. They're not going to have nuclear weapons. I'm not sure if you could just entomb the nuclear dust, or certainly keep eyes on it so they'll never get to it. And I think
look, all we have to do is somehow entomb it underground. Kind of like what we've already done, which is what makes extracting it almost impossible right now.
At that point, then the president can say, quote, mission accomplished. And frankly, the Strait of Hormuz is the world's problem. It's not our problem. We just rid the world of a threat of a nuclear armed Iran. We did our job. Right. Now it's up to them if they want the strait open. We don't need their oil. We don't need any oil from there.
Yeah, we don't need any oil from that area of the world. Anyway, here's from the Jeff Bezos-owned Washington Post, just the next day after that call happened. Trump is running out of options to contain gas price backlash. The rising cost of oil is becoming a major political concern for the White House as the war against Iran drags on. Basically, the price of gas right now is highly volatile and is very reactionary to whatever is going on over in the Strait of Hormuz. And what is about to happen here is it's going to get worse. I just want to show you guys this chart before I play this clip, right? Oh God, when was this? This is from today. Okay. So you saw that Washington Post article from May 2nd. It's now May 4th. Here's the chart. A year ago, we were at $3.17 per gallon of gas on average. It is now up to $4.44 per gallon. And it's not likely to be going down anytime soon. Okay? Not likely to be going down anytime soon. And if there's one thing that I know Trump supporters and MAGA pay attention to, it's gas prices. And I know that because in rural parts of the state, people were slapping pictures of Donald Trump onto gas pumps to point at the price with a little like blurb that said, "I did that." Not that long ago. When he got into office, people put a bunch of those on gas pumps to point out, look, he brought down the gas prices. They took so much smug credit in bringing down gas prices. And now that the gas prices are going up, that's a big problem. That's a big problem because it's one of the few actual indicators that like Trump supporters actually pay attention to. This is a direct threat to his base, not to mention a direct threat to like the businesses that rely on, shipping costs, which is basically every business ever. Yeah, let's take a listen to what Scott Bessent has to say.
We are cognizant that this short-term blip up in prices is affecting the American people, but I am also confident on the other side of this, prices are going to come down very quickly. The conflict will end. If we look at the stock market, what does the stock market see right now? The stock market is looking through this. Corporate earnings are good, employment is good, and this gasoline, this temporary aberration will be over in a matter of weeks or a month.
Yeah, stock prices are good. Yeah, employment's good. Yeah, it'll all be done soon.
Trump loves going down, especially on Bubba.
People are aroused. I haven't seen people so aroused in a very, very long time.
But like, Saki Tanuki, thank you for the 2 tier 1 subs. But like, the stock prices aren't going to keep going up if the people who are employed can't afford gas to get to work. Stock prices aren't going to keep going up if suddenly products get too expensive to buy because the logistical price of shipping them goes way up. It's not difficult to figure out. It's not difficult to figure out how this temporary blip that has been going on for months now could wind up turning into a huge deal. In fact, if this goes on until 2027, we're looking at some fairly apocalyptic economic fallout. Like, this is not something that, like, if it keeps going, is just going to be absorbed by our economy with a lot of ease. If this continues for, like, the next several months, we're looking at, like, economies across Asia cratering. We're looking at then those resulting craters cratering everything else. Like, it's going to be really bad. Yeah, we're talking like global depression type event. But let's check in with Donald Trump. How's he doing? This is from May 2nd.
I usually take the bus to work. I wonder how long before public transport is affected. Spirit Airlines is already dead.
I mean, jet prices are going to be awful. Public transit, if we embraced electric transit, would be pretty okay, but we haven't done that in a lot of places.
Mr. President, in your letter to Congress, you said the hostilities in Iran that started have been terminated. How can you say that given that the naval blockade is still being militarily enforced?
Well, it's a very friendly blockade. Nobody's even challenging it. Nobody at all is challenging it. Just so you understand, many presidents have been involved in things that are very big. They never had to go through anything with respect to Congress. They considered it to be totally unconstitutional. And the Democrats in Congress that push this, and probably a couple of Republicans, they're hurting our negotiating ability, which is infinite right now. And they shouldn't be doing it. It's never happened before. No other president's done it. And I'm not going to be the first. Thank you very much.
It's a friendly blockade. It's a friendly blockade. No one's even challenged it. I just want to remind you all, military blockades of other countries are acts of war. They, by definition, not friendly. Definitionally not friendly. The part here where he talks about us having infinite negotiating leverage, like, no, we don't. If we did, this would be done. Like, someone in chat noted, Iraq has like a quarter of the population of Iran, and we were there for 20 years. Like, Iran has been aware and been preparing for hostilities with the United States for like the last 50 years. And Donald Trump is just like, yeah, well, we'll do fine. Like, I cannot stress enough for you guys how utterly inane and nonsensical and stupid that is. Right? Like, we're talking about a country that has built up this exact capability, locking down the Strait of Hormuz, as one of their key negotiating tactics to make up for the fact that they don't have a nuclear weapon to act as a deterrent. Like, people knew that if you enter into hostilities with Iran as the United States by sea, they are going to lock down the Strait of Hormuz and exact that economic price. Anyone in our defense sector could have told you that, and Donald Trump chose not to listen to any of those people. And now we are reaping the consequences of that. Okay? And just in terms of projection, here's another clip of Scott Bessent.
Yeah, so let's level set here. I think the Iranians are starting to believe their own propaganda. And just to be clear, the leadership is hunkered down in bunkers all over the country. And I don't think they know what's going on. But what is going on is that they're reduced. Their navy is not a navy anymore. It's a band of pirates. They are trying to cut off international freedom of navigation through the Strait of Hormuz, and the U.S. is opening that up. This is a humanitarian effort. Yes.
Yeah, so what he's talking about in this Fox News appearance from earlier today is essentially the launch of Operation Freedom or Project Freedom, whatever they are ultimately choosing to call it. And what this operation is ostensibly the United States is arguing that the US Navy is going to enter the Strait of Hormuz and begin escorting, these oil tankers and LNG, freighters through the Strait of Hormuz and keep them safe. It's a humanitarian mission. It's not a military operation. It's humanitarian. Guys, it's humanitarian. We're just protecting them from pirates. It's totally different. Totally not a military operation that is absolutely going to violate the ceasefire agreement. Just want to throw out there. Let's see here. Yeah, this is from the New Republic. Trump blurts out damning admission of Iran blunder as GOP panic grows. Basically here, the New Republic catches, in an interview, Trump declared that he would never have approved an offer that was made to Iran by his negotiator, Steve Witkoff. This is a damning admission. He seemed to blurt out that he has no idea what his own representatives are offering, showing deep disengagement with the details of the talks, while demonstrating that anything his negotiators do offer should not be believed. Now, what exactly is this offer? Well, apparently, Steve Witkoff made an offer that would apparently have ended Iranian enrichment forever. Here is the Newsmax clip where they talk about it.
The second thing is that Steve Witkoff told me on this show is that the United States offered Iran to give them enriched uranium so that for medical and powerful purposes, free, if they would give up their nuclear program. Wouldn't cost them a dime, and they declined that, which to me suggested that they really didn't want a deal.
Well, and maybe it wasn't a very serious offer, because I wouldn't have approved that. Yeah, I wouldn't have. I'm not giving them anything. I wouldn't have approved that.
Then why are you sending negotiators, bud? It's all a fucking farce. It is all bullshit. Everything out of this administration is bullshit. And I don't know. Hey guys, can any of you predict what would happen if US warships tried to sail through the Strait of Hormuz? Anyone want to take a wild guess? You sunk my battleship. Or boom, also acceptable. Well, it turns out shortly after the beginning of Operation Freedom, In a call with reporters just now, Admiral Brad Cooper of CENTCOM says Iran has opened fire on U.S. warships and commercial vessels today, but declines to say whether the ceasefire between the U.S. and Iran is over. U.S. forces returned fire and destroyed some Iranian small boats. So again, the ceasefire is done. By launching this, by violating the terms of this ceasefire, it's done. Donald Trump has ended whatever ceasefire previously existed. Now, what this has entailed is over the last 24 hours, missiles and drones have landed on different U.S. military vessels, also military bases. The UAE in particular seems to have been very busy having to shoot down ballistic missiles shot by Iran. They claim to have intercepted over 15 different attacks so far. Here is a video after a commercial ship from South Korea was struck. You can see again, now I tell you guys this because all of this is going to affect gas prices tomorrow. The gas prices aren't going to go down because of this. It's just going to get worse. The other thing I want to say is that you are probably going to see in the news tomorrow from mainstream media that, look, our brave U.S. destroyers were able to fend off the Iranian attack and escort ships through the Strait of Hormuz. We can't be sending warships through the Strait of Hormuz where they're going to get attacked with missiles every time a civilian ship needs to transit the strait. We do not have the resources to make that at all, worth it. It's like committing hundreds of millions of dollars when you're going to be attacked with hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of rockets and munitions. And the damage is eventually going to pile up, whether it is in the framework of, interceptors and the costs of building and firing those interceptors, or it is going to build up in the terms of our ships being sunk. So this is just not sustainable. Whatever you see come out of this, whether it is heroic U.S. forces survive to fight another day or anything else, this is not a sustainable commitment of force. And Iran knows that. Iran absolutely knows that. All they have to do is sustain and maintain this threat. That's it. It's not a difficult proposition for them, considering that they have built up this area specifically for this occasion. So, yeah, I don't know, guys, but also the price of Brent crude has gone up now again, almost 6% higher than it was yesterday. So, again, expect to see that reflected at the pump. It's going to get worse because the absolute gibbering idiot in charge of our entire country has no idea what the fuck he's doing. So anyway, if you got anything out of this, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, drop those subs, donos, memberships, super chats, etc. Support the show however you can. Leave a comment. Comments longer than 8 words really help in the algorithm. And also, get organized. Join your local Dems, join your local DSA. If you need help getting started on that, do reach out. You can join our Discord, reach out to Gamergy for help with DSA, reach out to Dragonfly for help with your local Dems. And also, check out ImogeneOlivia.com, gender euphoric lingerie designed from the ground up for trans femmes. It is comfortable, it is sexy. Go check it out. ImogeneOlivia.com. Link down in the description, and let's keep on going.
Riverboat Jack is coming to town. All the viewers gather around. Twitch and YouTube every swishy streams. All that content is bursting the seams. Politics, being flame more. Your sense of fashion, you'll adore. So grab your stuff and hop aboard. We're going straight to Jack's Discord. Riverboat.